Now, what's the challenge for playing her? You got to play both sides. She's both all these multiple things. How do you approach it? Is there something to be said about process here?
Well, it was actually kind of terrifying because I read the book, and the book is wonderful by Amanda Foreman, and it's very helpful to have
very
something...
successful as a book.
Very successful, yes. But it's helpful to have something like that as a basis. But you know, when you're basing something on a biography, there's so much information, you know, and I think people are incredibly complex and they do contradict themselves. So it was actually very difficult to get a handle on her because I thought that the script chose a specific path, and actually when I read the book, I saw somebody very different than the person that I saw in the script. So kind of up until like a day before we started shooting, I was absolutely terrified, and then suddenly went, well, maybe actually that's the key to it. Maybe the key is that she is many things, and that's fine.
To read about you, there's a word that comes up occasionally: terrified, terrified, terrified.
Oh, really?
You know?
Oh, no.
I'm terrified of doing this, but I march right into it.
Yeah.
I'm terrified about not getting this. I'm terrified, you know, there's a famous story you told more than once about I only took 1 week's worth of clothing, thinking that they would fire me after a week at some point in your life.
Yeah, that was the first Pirates film, yeah.
Why was that? What is it about?
I don't know. I think that I try and take roles that I don't know whether I'm going to be any good at. I think that you have to look... It's sort of like looking in the face of failure and admitting that it's going to happen. It's going to happen, you know, I'm going to fall flat on my face.
Does it make you stronger once you can accept the fact that I think it's going to happen, so therefore...
I don't know, maybe it's quite exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Living on the edge is exciting.
Slightly. I mean, yeah, I think there is a sense that... I mean, it's so embarrassing if it does badly and if you're awful in it. You know, it's on such a public scale. But I don't think that that's a reason not to do something. You know, I passionately love film. I love going to the cinema. I love watching it.
You've always said that. You say I passionately love film, but I've never read where you said, I passionately love the theater.
Oh, no, you're right. I think that's because I think when theatre is bad, it's the worst thing in the entire world. I think when theatre is good, there is absolutely nothing like it, and it does surpass
Good theatre is
film.
better than good film, but most of the time,
it happens very rarely.
Right.
And I think that the experiences that I've had in theatre when it's been awful have been so awful that it's kind of frightened me, and I haven't been sent back. Again, that means I think that you should always strive to make good theatre, you know. But again, you don't know whether that's going to happen.
Now,
or
are
whether
you
it's not.
risky like this in your personal life too? And I don't mean by your relationships with whoever you have a relationship with, but just in terms of the way you view your life.
I think I'd like it to be exciting. Yes, I don't like to plan things. I don't like to kind of... I think a lot of actors sort of book themselves up years in advance, if they're lucky enough, you know, and I don't like to know what I'm doing next.
Your mother was a writer, your father was an actor, yes, director.
Yeah, yes.
And early on, you knew this is what you wanted to do.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
Because?
I don't know. I think it was partly... They were involved in very political theatre, and there was a huge sense among their friends that they could change the world.
This was in the 70s, or?
This was in the 70s, but
right.
you know, I mean, even later than that, when I was young, there was still a sense that it really could change things, and I think that's what I mean about wonderful theatre being so powerful. And I saw a lot of that when I was growing up. I think that that's an amazing thing for a child to see. There's just so much energy among people that really believe in what they do. It's a very beautiful, exciting thing. So I suppose I always wanted to be a part of it.
Speaking of beautiful, exciting things, you know, do you think of yourself?
What, at all?
Yeah, do you think of yourself at all? All the time?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I suppose sometimes, yes.
And when you see pictures, do you like what you see?
It's not me.
Really?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
No.
It's not you.
No.
It's something you can look at analytically and clinically.
I don't really like to look at them. I mean, it's the same as the films, actually. I don't really like to watch my own films. Not because it's not me, but because I think vanity is always going to play a part in it.
Yeah, and because you see things that you think, I could have done better than that.
Well, particularly that.
I don't look that good
yes,
in that scene.
No. I mean, particularly it is actually, oh, why didn't you just do that better? Why, you know, I think I beat myself up about things. But yes, purely from a vanity point of view, emoting is never a particularly attractive thing, which doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't do it. And often for a character, it's the right thing. So I think if you become too aware of what you look like when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're, you know, you could then start becoming quite shy of presenting that to the world, which is obviously what my job is, you know.
How do you get better? I mean, do you talk to someone like Johnny Depp on a set and about acting?
I think you watch.
You're going to be in King Lear soon? Is that happening or not happening?
I don't know.
Is there a consciousness of saying, I want to pick roles that give me a kind of interesting career? I mean, are you at the place where you can say, as you said, there are not many roles?
Leading roles.
Leading roles, yeah. What are you looking for, I guess, is a better way of asking it.
I'm looking for challenges, I think.
Now, what would be a challenge?
Well, I think the reason that I loved this role so much, I loved the Duchess so much, was actually because it's such escapism. You know, it's in a society that is so different from our own. It's a person that's so different from me, and I love disappearing into different people. I mean, if you could possibly give me an accent and set it as far in the past or the future as possible, that's when I'm at my absolute happiest. So I suppose actually a contemporary piece would be a huge challenge for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, something that's actually very close to who I am.
There is this about this book, too, the notion that the Duchess is also the Princess of Wales.
Yes. They were very, very distantly related, and I have to say, Georgiana was a Spencer, Diana was a Spencer. Diana died when I was 11, so I was never particularly aware of exactly what the story was. I was very aware of the images, but as far as drawing parallels between the character, I'm afraid I'm a little too ignorant to be able to actually say...
Ignorant does not go with you, so
well, no, but on this particular one, I don't actually know exactly what her story is to really be able to say exactly what the parallels are.
Congratulations. It's great to have you on this program. It's great to meet you. I hope you'll come back and do this again.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
The movie is called The Duchess. Remember Atonement, remember Pride and Prejudice. The Duchess will be in theaters on Friday, September 19th. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.